Jesus Christ.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, build life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Who's your host?
All right, my beautiful people, man. Good evening to you. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on the new Black Wall Street. As we want to welcome you to Wall Street here tonight. I'm just trying to update my Instagram, so give me just a second. We're going to be talking about how to buy your first stock, and we're going to be focusing on the brokerage account. So as you guys may know, well, before I get into all that, I'll do my little intro and all that stuff. Is some people are connecting. Okay. So free financial education tonight, free financial education, some basics, what I would call them. But I understand it, even though it may be basic to me, it might be advanced to you. So we want to make sure you kind of get an understanding of this thing, especially if you're considering, hopping into the wealth game, which one of those pieces would be the stock market. Okay. So just to let you guys know who I am. I'm ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, an international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That book that I wrote, guys, is Study Black Wealth. It studies the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. You can find your copy by simply going to the website www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. You can pick up your ebook, soft copy in English, also ebook and also audiobook in French for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. We do want to make sure that that they are actually it's in their language, so they can know that there are some brothers and sisters that look just like them that are still alive today that have made their way into the elite, and that's what we have here. So again, theblackbillionairesclub.com. You'll find a link in the description above or below. Pick up your copy today. Tonight's featured program is being brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace. We specialize in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art inspired gifts. I tell you what, guys, when you come on over to the website, go ahead and check out the personal care section. We got natural personal care products for you, from toothpaste to fluoride free to natural deodorant, soaps, oils, essential oils, things like that, to help you get through this time, to make sure that you are that you boost your immune system to play that role in defense. So go ahead and check us out again at the website, www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. We want you to remember this, beautiful people, that once you shop black, you never go back. That's right, man. Once you shop black, you absolutely never go back. You're going to get Black-owned products here. You can actually shop in the mobile Black Mart, the online store. We ship all over the country. Again, ERGJ Black Bazaar, www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. Well, beautiful people, man, while you guys are connecting, go ahead and let us know where you're connecting from. What city, what state, what country, quite possibly. Love to know just how far our reach is here tonight. We're broadcasting from our studios here in Decatur, Georgia, where it's greater. And we're using this thing called the World Wide Web to reach people all over the world. So just want to know how far our reach is here tonight, as we're going to do some free financial education tonight to teach you a little bit about how to get started, how to buy your first stock. And one of those places that it begins is we start talking about the brokerage accounts, which is what we have. Now, I'm not here by myself. That's a beautiful thing. I actually got some help tonight. So I'm being just kick back and then let them just take over the show. I do have actually, I would consider this to be one of my seasoned students, I guess you can call them. I believe, and she'll be able to confirm this, I believe I kind of helped her get her start, and she's been blossoming ever since, and she's taken off into whatever path that she wanted to go as it relates to building wealth through the stock market. So we are talking about building wealth through the stock market. Everybody put in the comments below, build wealth. We're talking about building wealth through the stock market. And my viewers look a little low. So I want to make sure that this thing is working because they don't look right. I mean, when I know be about 25 people on here by now. Let me check something real quick. Let me check something. It must be because of my ugly mug. That must be what it is. You know, when you got an ugly mug. Okay, so it looks like I'm good. All right, it looks like I'm good. All right, so guys, give me a quick check. Make sure you guys can hear me. I'm not on mute, anything like that. All right, fantastic. So what I want to do as we begin to welcome you to Wall Street, let me bring in our special guest who's going to be having a conversation and kind of sharing some things with you about her journey and what we learned along the way. This is one of my great students here. Miss Kinney is up in the house, man. Good evening to you, Queen. How are you doing tonight? Oh, I got you on mute. Let me unmute you. All right, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing absolute phenomenal. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us here tonight. I know that it's a Thursday night. You could be extremely busy where you are, but you says you love the people enough that you want to share what you got with them here tonight. There's some people who absolutely don't know who the heck you are. Like, who is this person? So if you could just do a quick brief introduction for us, tell us who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, and why the heck we should listen to you.
All right. Okay. We'll jump right in. So, hey, everyone. I can't see too much, but I'm Pamela Kinney, and I am a trader. I'm a stock trader, and I'm an investor as well. And the reason I got into this was because in 2008, I lost a lot of money in my 401k plan, and pretty much everyone told me that I could just start over. And I said, well, I can't start over and build another 50K. That's hard to do. So from there, I decided to go on this journey of finance and learn what I needed to learn in order to be an investor for myself and to make money for my family. And luckily, I bumped across Evan, and I did have some other coaches in there, but I did meet Evan, who I thought was phenomenal. And that was the beginning of me really starting to realize how big the financial world was. And from there, I've been studying ever since.
Oh, that's it? Okay, I guess that was it. All right, absolutely. Now, you just actually said some interesting things there. You said that in 2008, which was the last big correction, recession, whatever you want to call it, that happened in the market was, you lost 50,000. And I was actually talking to someone earlier that said, there's people who still haven't recovered from what happened in 2008, 2009. But here, I guess a good question to ask, that you went through that time period and you changed some things up, and now we're into this time period here. Number one, what did you learn from 2008, and how is 2020, which is 12 years later, any different? Because for some people, it's the same.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now, I know it seems weird that I'm saying that, but in 2008, I was devastated. Like, everybody was just like, oh, you'll get this money back. You need to keep working. You need to put more money in, just do all the things that they tell you to do. Make sure you have your insurance. And, you don't know about finance. So you'll tend to do what everybody tells you to do. You'll add more money to your deferred comp, or you'll add more money into different things to try to, as an investment tool. But no one ever said, get into the stock market. No one ever said, learn to invest your own money in ETFs, which is better than mutual funds. No one ever told me those things. So, 2008 was devastating because I thought I would never come back from it. Whereas this correction, I'm sorry, it's a whole new feeling, because now I was like, oh my God, the stocks are getting ready to fall. And when they fail, I was right there to catch them and get the stocks that typically, you or I couldn't necessarily purchase, but now they're on sale and you can get them. And when they go back up, it's going to be amazing for you. And added to that, you can ride the wave of options, which is something else I do, making money going down and making money coming up. So for me, everybody's panicking and worrying when they said go in the house, coronavirus this and coronavirus that. I was like, oh, okay. You want me to sit at my computer and make money? I can do that. And I do that. So I just want more people to know that you can do this. I did it under a concussion, so I know anybody else can do it.
Man, absolutely. That's phenomenal. Now, Kenny, you're saying, you mentioned this word options, riding a wave. And it's very interesting because I deal with a lot of, as a person that's been doing this for a while, I always come across, these different philosophies, just put it that way. And what I encourage people to do is find a strategy that works for them. And I no longer argue on what strategy is better, because I want everybody to win. I want everybody to get rich. If you want to be short term. But of course, I came across these people last week, and they're like, oh, the market's going to crash, and yeah, we're going to be shorting everything, and we're going to make all. They're like, why would you buy it right now? Is everybody selling? And I was saying to them, I said, well, if everybody's selling, then that means somebody got to be buying. Like, you can't have a transaction without somebody buying. So who the heck is buying if everybody's selling? That's what I was asking them. And so, me, right? and so what's very interesting, all these short-term, woe is me, the stock market's going to crap. A week ago, guess what? I can't find them this week. I can't have a conversation with them now. And they done disappeared. I mean, they just flat, they just caught up with the Rona or something. I'm like, where are all the people that was talking all this jazz about what they believe to be true? And we all are, we all can have our own beliefs and what we think is going to happen. But where did they go? I can't find them. But anyway, but that goes back to what you must have learned something. I mean, because again, if you said I could catch them when they fell down, and I can catch them, then you must have learned something from 2008 that said, okay, it's catchable and it will get back to prominence. It will recover. Well, what are your thoughts on that as far as your confidence that you can catch something and ride it on the way up? Also, being able to see foresight as some things that might be interestingly that might bring any particular position down.
You know what I learned is that I had a bunch of coaches from there. I think I may have had 10 or 11 coaches, and some people worked for me, some people didn't. And that was a good experience too, because you have to acknowledge this as being a journey and that this is something that you want to do. Like, passionately, for me, it was just like, I don't want anybody else to tell me what to do with my money, because they're getting profit from my money telling me what to do. Whereas this way I can make my own money. And I just realized it was going to be a process, and it really was. So now what I do is try to make that a little bit easier for people, so that way you don't have to necessarily go through what I went through, which was spending a lot of money for classes or bumping across people you didn't necessarily vibe with or mentors that you didn't vibe with. It's a process. It's a mental process. It's a financial process. It really requires that you have a strategy and foresight to think about what it is and what your why is and what your goal is. So if you know your goal is to never go to work again, which was mine, and I knew I couldn't go back to work and I wasn't going to go back to work, I said, well, you got to do something, because these people going to tell you, I don't know if anybody knows about the workforce. If you get injured or something, they're going to tell you go back to work. And then they have all these things in place that will force you to go back to work. But if you have something in place there where you can say, okay, I can make $2,000 in this week, and I'll be okay. You can pay your bills. Like, it may not be 75K, but at least you have something where you can live off of and keep building from. So that's what inspired me the most, was to try to help other people, because I realized most of us do not have a lot of money. And then the other thing was looking out for our children and our generation's children, which was getting stocks that traditionally you really can't afford. I'm just going to say one stock is Boeing. Boeing is what, $400. And when this stock crash happened, correction, whatever they want to call it, it went down $89. Well, I was sitting there like a little fish. I call it like fishing, just sitting at the bottom like a little catfish, waiting on some food to fall down or somebody to lose their worm on a hook or whatever. And that's when you don't get caught, but you bite. You take the full meal if you can and keep moving. So when Boeing fell down, I was right there like, I've saved this money in this brokerage account. I knew how much money I had, and I just needed it to come down. And when it came down, now I think Boeing is like 180. It's 180 right now, but I got it at $89. So, and originally it's a $400 stock. So I guess in a year or what have you, or the way it's moving now, that stock is going to go back to $400. It will take most people maybe 3 or 4 months to get that stock, or just to get to one share. And I bought maybe 5 shares at one time. So that's my thing is, and that's the goal, is building a strategy for people where you can get those entry points and get in on dips and get in and make money for your family and have money for yourself, because I also get dividends now. So you want to buy up as much as you can, and then we can get into so much, we can get into doing covered calls. So that's another thing I like to do is you get 100 shares of something and you can do a covered call on it, and that's just money off the premium. So it's
So,
a lot
yeah, so
you can do.
we don't need a cover call. We still doing basic.
I know. It's a lot.
So what we're gonna do is hopefully we can put together some type of series, or I don't know, maybe you're working on some classes. I'm not quite sure what you're doing, and to kind of talk just a little bit about your specialty, what you really want to teach others as it relates to your, what you do and how you find yourself to be successful. So we'll talk about that and figure out what that looks like, what that is for you. But let me ask you this: so you said you had several coaches. Did you also find this to be true? That there were coaches who were perpetrating.
Oh. 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 Oh, I can't say no names, but Lord, Lord, y'all. Okay, so before I knew about people, I was just listening to people, and I was like, oh yeah, 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 they know what they're talking about, because they're financial PhDs and things like that. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, he knows what he's talking about. No, I think I bought. Oh God, I want to say something. It might have even been Sprint or like a Snapchat. It was something, and it was not something I should have bought. But because this person was toting that they knew what they were doing and that you could just go in and buy a stock, I thought, oh, you just buy a stock. That is not what you do. Do not do that, because it ends up being a bad investment, and then you're looking at that stock and you're like, well, why do I have this? It's not giving me any dividends. It's giving me a 1 cent dividend. It's not going up. It's not paying me. It's just, you really want to pick foundational stocks. And the other thing, and I don't mean to be morbid, but I do think this way, is in my death, I want my children to and my grandchildren to live off the dividends of the stocks that I picked. So that way, I want them to know these things, and I want them to keep generating these stocks or more stocks or different stocks as the economy changes or as the climate of that environment changes. But I wanted some foundational things in there so that way they never have to worry about it. I don't want them to have to think about, you know, my mom bought Ford stock and Ford is still $7.92. Why did she buy this? And it's not giving them any money. But if you learn how to pick a good, solid stock, that can live on forever. Some of these stocks have been around since 1888 and different things like that. I know Alcoa is like 1868. So just getting stocks that really matter and mean something to you too, because that's another thing you'll have to deal with is, you can get prisoner stocks. I remember we talked about that before, Evan. Remember, like, what's your morality base? Would you buy this particular stock, or would you buy this stock knowing that it contaminates Black women's hair, or how they do companies? It just comes down to your morality, and where you're trying to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I got a suggestion here, because we do have, of course, guys that don't know, this is a BBC member. If you're a part of the BBC, go ahead and put a console hashtag BBC. That is the Black Billionaires Club. We do have a club that is designed to not only build business, but to help one another to learn how to invest. Stock market, real estate, all that stuff. So if you're a person that's wealth minded, you're saying I'm not just quoting these scriptures, but I'm serious about building wealth, and you realize there's not really around a lot of wealth minded people, well, you may want to consider joining the Black Billionaires Club. You can find that at the same website that the book is found. So we've turned the book into a mission, and we simply do what the Black Billionaires do. We read, we build business, and we invest. It's just that simple. So you can check that out there. If you're interested in that, make sure you do that. But one of the BBC members says this: stock options is one I've been trying to desperately learn, and I got a suggestion. Because one thing I haven't seen, I've seen women in stocks, but I've not seen a women's option group. I think that would be absolutely bonkers to have women in options with our lead teacher being a Miss Pamela Kinney, and our star student being a Destiny Robbins. I think that would. What do you think? You think that's a good idea, Destiny? Because I come up with good ideas every now and then, and sometimes they be good, sometimes they be stupid. But hey, it's a good idea nonetheless. But I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Absolutely. So I might want to consider that there. Not quite sure. Sierra, Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch is a good book to read that teaches you the basics. Yeah. One Up. Also, BBC is in the house. BBC is in the house. A solid stock when a pupil is ready to teach will appear. I am your student. Teach me. Yes. All right. So yeah, I think we have a great foundation to have a whole section for women in investing. And of course, I can always show up as a as a facilitator or a guest, but I don't necessarily need to do it all. Now, here's what I thought, Ms. Kinney. And we're gonna look at Boeing in just a second since you brought it up. I got two questions for you. Number one, what was I just thinking about? Women in stocks. Where did my question just go? Where did it go?
I wish I could help you.
I'll ask the other question until the other question I was going to ask come back. So as you were, as you found me, and I don't think you ever told me this, or maybe you have, but what's one memorable thing, or what is something that you learned from me that you still, like utilize, or you remember? You're like, man, because you sent me a chart the other day from something 3 years ago.
2017 or something, was it? Yeah. I remember. Oh my God, it was so much. What I loved is that you do pull people up, and you acknowledge that there are people out here really leading people astray. And I don't want to get emotional, but I remember once you talked about foundational stocks. Matter of fact, that was how I learned that the stocks that I had were trash. And you were talking about building a foundation, and I think you had a picture of a pyramid, and you were like, this is how you do it, and then you move this, and then you move that, but then you show how it could be aggressive. And it was just understanding that if you get the smaller tier one, at least have that base. You talked about building a house.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? You talked about being in a house. And then we would go over stocks, and you would speed through the stocks, and I'd be like, oh, this guy, he really knows what he's doing. And and I would get a little, flustered, but I realized that, you were trying to get as much information out as fast as you possibly could, so that if you take this information and run with it, you could do that. And I do have to thank you, my friend, because you might want to look at AMD. Remember, you picked AMD and you said, this is a stock to look out for. That was the screenshot I sent you. It was AMD. I think it was 2017. And you were like, hey, this is a stock that we should think about getting, or it was on our stock watch list. Oh, we should do that again. Remember the stock watch list? And it was $13 or $10. And I bought like 10 shares, right? But then I didn't really pay attention. AMD trades now for $48, $50. We got that stock at $10. Can you not beat that? And it's a good solid company. Like AMD will be here. I had to get something for my computer. I needed something because I needed more screens for my trading. And I walked into the Micro Center, and they had a section in the back. Why was it all AMD? I was like, oh. And AMD is rivaling into it. So I was
like, you was back there saying, oh, I'm buying my own shit, huh?
Pretty much. That's exactly what happened. I get AMD, I got their stock, and they're going to give me my money back anyway. So I'm going to get it.
Absolutely. So they said they all for it, man. They said, let's do it. Saying a women's option group or a women's investing group or something like that from an educational standpoint. Of course, her income and visit every now and then. Absolutely. Stock watch. So what we did, what we used to do is I would say, hey, if you got a stock that you guys want to look at, just put it down. It would be our stock watch Saturday or something like that. And I'll take a look at it, give you my, honest opinion on it after I analyze it, because I'm an analyst. And then somebody brought that up. I took a look at it. I left a whole review in our group, and whoever did something with it, and she took advantage of it. So we'll take a look at AMD as well. So we look at Boeing, we look at AMD. Now, one of the things, as I've been talking to, people, is I never wanted to assume that people are further along than they really are. And so as I was talking to some people, they was like, how do I buy a stock? And I was like, well, hey, you need a brokerage account. And then they was like, well, what's a brokerage account? And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So we got to go back to the basics because, people are wherever they are in their particular journey. So tonight we really want to talk about brokerage accounts a little bit. Mm-hmm. Understand our audience that a brokerage account, I tell when I teach this is how I teach it. I say, hey, there are 3 accounts I think you should have. Number 1 is your checking account. All right, checking account is going to be for your expenses. So everybody put in console, checking equals expenses. Checking account is for expenses. Then you need your savings account, right? Savings account, right? You save for a rainy day, save for an opportunity. So savings is going to be, if you want to build up an emergency fund, you want to have a savings account. That's going to be for savings, right? That's what it is. Checking account for expenses. That's what you live off of. Savings account to save. But where our fault has been is that we did get a good advice from Big Mama, who told us that we should save for a rainy day. But what they never really told us was that you're really saving not just for a rainy day, but you're actually saving for an opportunity. Everybody put in console, save for opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so a rainy day could be good and bad. It could rain blessings or it could rain cats and dogs. And most of us, when we hear rainy day, we're thinking about cats and dogs. We're not thinking about it raining good stuff, raining blessings from heaven or whatever the case may be. So when you save for opportunity, then you might find yourself in a position that we're in right now in 2016 where the opportunity has come. Mm-hmm. And you can actually take advantage of it because you have capital, right, that you can then put to use and then you begin to multiply. So so the third account will be the brokerage account. This just means that you have a liaison, you have someone that gives you access to a market you never had before. But we're going to call the brokerage account the multiply account. Everybody put in console, brokerage equals multiply. Because this is where you're going to you're going to use to attempt to try to multiply your money, right? A broker is the same no matter whether it's a real estate broker or a stock broker. It's a broker. It's the person that gives you access to a market that you as an individual don't know or mostly don't know and mostly don't have access to. So they're going to be your gateway to that particular market, okay? So let me see what you guys are typing here. Maybe if y'all getting it with me. Y'all here with me? Checking equals expenses, right? Checking equals expenses. I remember when I started, look at that, Miss Jacobs. She's been around for a while as well, right? Saving for opportunity, right? Saving for opportunity, right? Saving for brokerage equals multiply, right? Where you're going to have money that you want to try and multiply. Now, your brokerage account it works with just like a checking account in that you will have to go to some financial institution. You got to put in your information, which would be your name, date of birth, social security, all that stuff. They got to verify that you're a real person and that your identity, you're not a fraud, all that stuff. And then they give you access to the markets, right? And I believe my other friend, she's not here today. She just actually opened up an E-Trade account. So what we're going to talk about today is some different accounts, different brokers that give you access to the market. So let me ask you this, Miss Kinney. I know you do options, and we're going to talk about those differences. But from an investing standpoint, not options, because you probably have a different broker for options. What would be your number one recommended broker for regular investing, buy long-term hold type investing?
Long-term hold, I think it depends on the investor and how you really want to invest. Like I was saying, I had a young lady call me and she said, I have $1,000. I just want to invest it in whatever. I said, okay. So she thought she was supposed to give the money to me, which that is not what you're supposed to do. You need a broker. And because she's not going to make any more trades, she just wants this one stock, this one investment, just to see where it goes and where it grows. So for her, I recommended Robinhood because I knew she wasn't going to do anything more. Now, if you're going to do more like what I do, I have done computer share because sometimes, like I know people have M1. What's the other one? Cash App? Is it Cash App?
Well, we do cash out.
And Cash App, but what I did was I like to,
CompuShare.
yeah, I do CompuShare. I like CompuShare because it lets you do a drip, and essentially that's what Cash App does. And M1 is like a drip, which is drip stands. I'm sorry. Go. You were gonna say.
You gotta tell them what it means. How about this is a financial literacy show too. You can't say dripping. Like people like, what am I? Is that a new dance? What's going on?
I know. So let me pull it up, guys, because again, my memory doesn't.
So let me talk about CompuShare, right? So CompuShare, and I'll put that in the for y'all to see it as soon as I can find a place to type it. So CompuShare.
There we go.
I can't keep on giving this out. This is some good stuff. Let me go ahead and just pull it up, guys. I mean, let me just do that. Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not? All right, so CompuShare.
Yeah.
So CompuShare, is it ComputerShare? Oh, it is ComputerShare. They changed it?
Yeah, they did change it because I think before it was Broadbridge. It was Broadbridge, but then it switched over.
All right, so ComputerShare is basically what this does. It allows you to actually, it's a transfer agent that allows you to actually acquire equities directly. Okay. So if you say, hey man, I don't want to go through a third party broker and I just want to go straight to get Disney stock. Well, you can go through ComputerShare to buy Disney stock directly from Disney. That's kind of how that works. They're still a broker, but they're considered a transfer agent because they're transferring Disney stock through whatever plan that you get to you directly. And then, as you mentioned, DRIP, that's a dividend reinvestment program. So that allows you that basically you determine what Disney pays a dividend. You determine, okay, what am I going to do with this dividend? They give you the option to just reinvest it back into the stock that you have actually acquired. So it's a program that they put inside of that. And I'm trying to, I want to, they used to show all the stuff.
Yeah, it's got a little different, but I still like them. So
I don't know if I have to be a investor or okay, so they do look all these different stocks. Okay, they have updated some stuff. Okay, I haven't been here in a long time, but you see all of these different companies that you're able to actually buy through. You can go through. I'm not going to go through all this. I'm just going to introduce. Basically, you're buying stock direct. Okay, direct. So this is the only. I believe this is one of the only transfer agents that I'm aware of. There may be others, but I know that this is the most popular one.
There are others, but I just like this one better. I don't know why I prefer ComputerShare. It was something.
I know why. Because this is the first one I introduced y'all to.
No, essentially I started off with Broadbridge and they switched me over from that to ComputerShare because Broadbridge was kind of dark. It wasn't as efficient, but I feel like ComputerShare offers a lot of communication. Like when they switched over from Broadbridge, when Disney switched over from Broadbridge, ComputerShare, when they got in touch with me, they kept sending me emails, they kept sending me letters, like, and then they called, like, hey, we need you to set up your account and get this together. And I was like, okay. They were on it. So I like them.
So essentially what this means, guys, is that if you're saying, hey, I found one company that I absolutely love and this is what I'm going with, you're not looking to trade, you're just looking to get started. Say, man, at the end of the day, this is what I want. It's a great way to just go and get exactly what you want without having to concern yourself with really building a top flight portfolio. But you can obviously have different options in here, and they got different plans that you can select from. But again, I'm not going to go through all of this. I would have to do a presentation straight on how to buy direct. But I want to make sure that you're aware of the resource that's available to you if this is a route that you want to go. So if you're a Coca-Cola person, you're saying, man, I just want to buy Coca-Cola stock. That's it. You can actually go directly to Coca-Cola and get it. And a transfer agent will actually allow you to do that. So you don't have to. But here's the cool thing. It really doesn't matter really anymore. It used to matter because of fees. But now, they've reduced the fees. You got no commission trades now. Some of these other institutions because they're all competing for your business. That kind of devalues, I think, a little bit about what makes ComputerShare so special. Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. So, but again, this is a resource for you guys. One of the first places I tell people is I like TD Ameritrade. I'll pull that up for you. What was the standout for TD Ameritrade for me was that they had the Thinkorswim platform.
Oh yeah, I have TD Ameritrade too. I have several brokerage accounts.
Yeah, you got several. But just like you said, just like you probably have several savings checking accounts, right?
Yeah.
So TD Ameritrade, www.tdameritrade.com. I think they have, I think they have the best customer service of everybody that I don't use them, but I think they got good customer service. I never need to call, so I don't care about customer service anymore. But you might, I think they got the best customer service. They do have a Thinkorswim platform which allows you to do practice trading or practice investing. I thought that was pretty cool. So I think those are the benefits, I think, of TD Ameritrade over anything. And then they say here you can get up to $600 when you open and fund an account. So they have some different offers for you once you get going with the account. I think they were going to close my account because I never used it. I only opened it for the Thinkorswim platform.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about TOS is that if you do get them, you can schedule an appointment and they will walk you through that platform, and you can do that every 6 months.
Yeah.
And TOS, I like.
Okay, so we got some questions. Okay, I'm gonna try to answer these questions. Okay, so let me go here. Go ahead and say about Thinkorswim. You talking about TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim? I mean, obviously you use them as the same.
TOS.
Thinkorswim.
Yes.
Okay. That was all you had to say about that?
Yeah. Well, I like them.
You don't know how to finish sentences well. I'll be like, you done?
You're talking about me because I don't want to cut you off. I try to be polite, but I can get ruthless if you want me to.
I was like, it's like,
don't make me get dirty, Dan. Don't make me get dirty with you.
I didn't know. I was like, is that a period? I didn't know if that was a period. Period when you're done. Period. I'll be like, oh, okay, she's done.
I might help you out with that, but with POS. I like them for a number of reasons. They have charts and graphs that you can put in there, but you can't layer their charts. That's the only thing that really gets me a lot of times, is because I like to look at like QQQ or something and layer my charts on top of each other, and you can't do that necessarily with TOS. So
yeah, that's next level. Yeah, got you.
Okay.
So great question. How I checked out 3 brokerage companies. How do I choose? I would say the same way you chose your checking account. Like they're roughly pretty much.
No, they're not. No. No, do not do that. No. How you do? Okay, so E-Trade is a direct. They go to the stock market direct. TOS has a third party connect. So when you want transactions, like the other day, I wanted to get into Apple. Apple was a $9 call. Because I was on TOS, it did not execute fast enough, and I didn't get into that trade, and it went up too much.
Hold on, you gotta get. We're talking about buy and hold. You gotta get out of this option mode at the end, right? We're talking about. I said long-term trade. You know what I'm saying? You getting it. It's not.
Okay. Well, TOS for long-term holds.
So you got TOS. So I mentioned to her TOS, E-Trade, and Ally. That's the 3 I mentioned to her when she asked me about it. And I use Ally. But I've tried TOS. I tried TD Ameritrade, and I never tried E-Trade. Ally used to be. They bought out what I used to have, whatever it was, Trade King. So I was Trade King. They bought out Trade King, so I'm still with. I still stay with Ally, and I like Ally because it's a financial institution as well. I can open up a savings account with Ally. I can actually create a whole financial empire through that one platform without having to go outside of it. So how do you really? And I've said this before. Choose one, because you can always go to another one later. They're just like bank accounts to me. But share your thoughts, because you're gonna be leading the women, and they're gonna need a little bit more detail than I'm gonna be able to give them.
I'm frugal. I do not prefer to spend a lot of money. So the other thing is, when you do get these accounts, if you're transferring money, they will charge you a $75 fee. Some people will forgive it and give you your money back, or if you transfer things over, and the other company will charge you. So sometimes it's better. Sometimes what I do with my Robinhood account is I will pull money down and send it back up, because that way it eliminates having to pay an extra fee. It does take more time, but they're not taking $75.
Okay, so I don't know how to tell you to choose, man. I just don't.
It's going to come down to what platform looks better to you, what feels comfortable for you, whether or not you want to do extra clicks, how fast you want to get into buying your stocks. Like, it's really going to be a feel, just like how you pick a coach, or you vibe with somebody. You're like, oh yeah, I like that person, that's cool, and you vibe with them. If you click, you click. It's the same thing with a platform.
So again, let's just say, so here's what I would say, Miss Rosier, because I'm thinking about now. I think also we got to factor in technical savvy. Got to factor in age, quite possibly. For you, Miss Rosier, I would probably say TD Ameritrade, because I think that as you are beginning this journey, for you, you'll probably be reaching out, asking questions, and you're going to probably need the best customer service that you can get. And I think that TD Ameritrade will provide that for you to get started. I think as you become more savvy and become more knowledgeable, I don't think that you would necessarily need as much support on your journey. And then the other thing is also, as I think about where you are, I think you may even get to a point where you're looking at, I don't know where you are, but I think you might even get to a point, because what we're talking about is discount brokers. You may get to the point where you're needing a full service broker, like a Charles Schwab or a Fidelity or something like that. So we didn't even talk about that, because we're just talking about discount broker where you just do it on your own. You go online, you do it on your own. But when you start talking about a full service broker, then that's going to give you the ability to actually walk in the building, because we got some people that are used to that type of communication. They want to be right in front of you, and they want to shake a hand, and they want to talk to somebody. So I would even think about considering that. I think that may limit you, though, as far as being able to move fast, because you're going to have someone moving for you. So I guess that's some of the questions that I would ask you is, is it something that you want to do on your own, by yourself? Do you want to have, someone hand in hand with you as you get started? And you might need full service, right? That's about fair, right, Kinney?
I think that's another thing. That's a good point. You can Google and see if there's a TD Ameritrade near you or E-Trade. I do know we have a TD Ameritrade near us. It's like maybe 20 minutes from our house. But you can check and see if there is a place near you, and then you can sign up for classes. And if you're having trouble or you're not really computer savvy, you can go in there and they will walk you through it.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So most major cities have a financial district, if y'all don't know that, right? And all those financial companies are all in the same district of your city. If you got a financial district that you know what I'm talking about, you say, hey, wait a second, that's where all the finance companies, that's where all the big bank corporations are. That's why the TD Ameritrade and the E-Trade, or where the SunTrust big building is. It's what the Bank of America big building is. It's like a financial district. It's like Sims. It's like Sim City. You're like, that is real. That's the financial district, right? Everybody put it down so district. I want to know if you got a district in your city. We got one here in Atlanta. It's very easy to find. It's around West Peachtree. It's like you go down there, you see all the suits. And everybody looking like money. You see all the Lamborghinis. It's like right next to Lenox Mall. It's like right down the street from Lenox Mall. You're like, yep, that's the financial district.
That's what ours is. That's where the money is.
That's where the money is. Yep, absolutely. Let me see if we get another question here again. All right. So, what are the main advantages of buying fractional stocks besides the fact that you can get in at less money if you need? Advantages. I would say you have the opportunity to share build. So here's what I love about fractional buying for beginners, because I don't necessarily do I do fractional buying, but I do it just to show you guys. What you guys see me doing is not all that I do. It's just what I'm doing to teach you guys. But here's a story. So I had a student this past week. who took the plunge. I guess she's been watching my videos or watching mine I've been putting up. She said, I'm gonna try it. So she took $20. I don't know what she invested in, but she took $20 and then she showed me today. She said, look at this. And it was a number I hadn't seen before. I'm like, who is this sending me this on my phone? And she told me her name, and I was like, I don't even know nobody this name. It's been so long. And so she really just been following me this whole time. And obviously she took it, she did something with what she's seen on Facebook or Instagram. So so her $20 that she invested has now $30 in a week. So she has increased her portfolio 50% in a week. Now, if she wouldn't have started with the $20, she probably would have never got in and at least experienced that it's opportunity that is available. And what I tell people all the time, man, once you get a win, everybody put in the comments below, get a win. Once you get a win, that changes everything. Because it goes from myth, it goes from possibility to like, this is real.
Yeah.
So once you get a win, so she had a big win her very first time with $20 turning into $30 in a week. How many guys love to turn $20 into $30 in a week? Some of you guys might say, oh, that's nothing. Okay, well, let me add a zero to it. How many guys like to turn $200 into $300 in a week? Oh, that's still not enough. Okay, let me add another zero to it. How many guys like to turn $2,000 into $3,000 in a week? It's the same thing. It's just a different in decimal point. It's
the other thing is you're going to get dividends from that.
I don't know what she invested in.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what she invested in.
Chances are, if you get the right company and pays a dividend, you can get a dividend. So right? That's the helpful thing for fractional shares.
So the advantage is, to me, is allowing someone who has very limited discretionary income to taste and see.
Yeah.
Right? To taste and see. No big risk, no great gain. But again, that 50%, you start at zero, you're like, wait a second, I need to get some more up in here.
And now is a good time too. Like now is a wonderful time. It's wonderful.
The no fee is great, and I know that's right. I'm not comfortable with companies like Cash App. Okay, fantastic. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Again, that's a Cash App is a starter app. Notice we didn't mention that at first, but you have starter apps or apps, period, that people are trading on, like a Cash App or a Robinhood or Acorns or a Stash. To me, they're all relatively the same. And then you have Discount Brokers, which actually has an app as well. So if I was with TD Ameritrade, I have a TD Ameritrade app, but they're still brokers that are registered with the FDA, with the SEC. And they are regulated. So whoever you're comfortable with, go with who you're comfortable with, because you need to be comfortable with who you got your money, where you got your money at, right? Just like any bank. You might not. I'm not comfortable with Bank of America. They don't see none of my money. Okay. Yeah. I'm not comfortable with Wachovia. They don't see none. Are they still around? I'm not comfortable with them either. Right. So I go where I'm comfortable. You should go where you're comfortable as well. Love TD Ameritrade. The customer service is top notch. Absolutely. I was thinking of having more than one. Thanks for answering my question. Yeah, you can have more than one, but start. Hey, here's the thing, Ms. Rozier. Start with one.
Yeah.
More than one, but you got to start. You start with one. All right. So when are the companies you're comfortable with? What are the companies you're comfortable with as far as brokers accounts, such as Webull, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade? I think we answered it already. I think I answered that already, right? Yeah, I think we answered that. All right. What is TOS? TOS is Thinkorswim. That is the platform that TD Ameritrade owns. That allows you to have a trading platform where you can look at charts and you can practice trading or practice investing. It's like a let's call it stock market monopoly. All right. It's not real, but it does mimic the market to be able to make you feel like, okay, if I would have done this is what would have happened. Mm-hmm. So it's practice. It's practice. Yeah, we're talking about practice. Practice. Yeah, absolutely. At Robinhood, and because of free stock, I just started with Cash App. Absolutely. Right. So Robinhood, when you share with others, they get able to get free stock. You're able to get free stock. It's limited in its capacity, but I'm buying whole girl, but I want to try options. Okay. So we got women in options coming soon. Okay. This is a thing. All right. Same in case you do go to Robinhood, if you use someone's link, here's mine. I got you, girl. You better do that thing. We both get a free stock. I have multiple brokers accounts. Now they also have fractional shares too. So that's something new that Robinhood brought. You know why? Because there was competition. They said, oh, Cash App offering this, and Acorns offering this, and Stash offering this. We're not offering this. So they started offering that as well. And I think it's a great way for you to build up your portfolio over time. I chose the bank around the corner. Thank you, sister. Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Where did I go? Where did all this stuff go? Did I go up too high? Okay, here we go. Yes, I would say TD Ameritrade 2. Good evening to you, Ms. Ava, both full service and myself. All right, I definitely have a district here. LOL, absolutely. Thanks. I went 15 years ago, going back. Absolutely. District. Yep, you absolutely got a district. I've been using Stockpile and some other apps. Is it possible to transfer from there to a real platform like Ally or TD Ameritrade?
I have a question about that Stockpile. Do you still pay to do a thing with Stockpile? Because Stockpile, I mean, Stockpile, when you try to get fractional shares, they charge you a fee. Is that still true for you, Wakita?
Is that true? So we'll come at that. So I don't know the answer to this question. I would have to research because when I think about these apps, I'm thinking you probably have to cash out. Well, you know what? It's probably that you're going to have to contact the broker directly in order to transfer. So you have to find out who's the broker for for Stockpile, and then contact them directly. Just like Cash App has a Cash App Investing LLC, that's the actual broker. So I would imagine that you would have to contact them directly in order to, or have your new broker contact them directly in order to see if you can do a transfer. So that would be my first guess.
This is what you can do. What was that? Transfer depository trust. That's how you can transfer if you want to. Oh, see, that's TD Ameritrade.
All right. Get a win. That's right. Get a win. Absolutely. Get a win. Get a win. I'm trying to get down here. We still got a lot of questions coming. I don't even know we're going to get to all of them. Me. Taste and see. Absolutely. Do you think that it's too late for people to get in on these lower prices, even though the market seems to be going back up? No. I mean, we have not fully recovered, by the way.
We haven't.
Right.
Back down.
And you will see. I mean, we've had 3 straight days of increase. We'll have another day of decrease.
Go down.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So, wouldn't I say that? I think we still got a ways to go. We still got some things to unfold. We still got some triggers, some economic triggers that have yet to be. Y'all ain't got y'all. Listen, you ain't got your tax return check yet. You ain't got your stimulus check yet. That's a surplus into the money into the consumer's hand, and you know what the consumers do? They go out and spend it. So we still got economic triggers. And again, for those that's not part of the Black Billionaires Club, you probably just won't be getting those triggers because that's exclusive information. You say exclusive information. Cash App had a bunch of problems with security breach. Okay, many companies have that. Hopefully they didn't. Hopefully your money was secured and you got your money. Hopefully, what do you say about FB? What they said? We said about Facebook.com. I mean, we've had these companies. Listen, it's a financial company. I mean, of course, the criminals are going to try to go after the money. I mean, that's normal. That's right. I mean, that's actually normal. That's not nothing new, right? Nothing new. What are options? Okay, Kinney.
So options are contracts that you can get in a company. You don't have to necessarily purchase shares of the company, but you can play the contracts on the company, which are 100, and it's a cheaper way to invest and make money. So let me give you the better definition for it, so that way.
No, you want me to help you out? Because you
can.
All right.
This so my memory fails me.
No problem. So let me explain options a little bit. So let's just say, all right, let's just say you got a favorite team. You want to go to a concert or basketball, football game. We're going to say a football game because basketball game. LeBron James. You're going to go see the Lakers.
The coupons.
And the Lakers, you got a ticket, right? And the ticket, right, gives you the option to enter the arena, right? So the ticket you bought, let's just say for $100, gives you the option to enter the arena. And in order for you to enter the arena, you have to exercise your option, okay? Now, you can choose not to enter the arena, which means that you don't exercise your option. It means you don't really cash in on your option, which means that you would actually just forfeit your $100. You didn't exercise. Or, just like the ticket scalpers do, you can say, hey, I got this ticket, but I no longer want to own this option to enter the arena, and I'm going to sell this option that I paid $100 for to someone else for $115 because they really want to go. So your friend's like, I really want to go see the Lakers play the Bucks, and I really want to go while they're in LA. And you're like, oh wow, I got a ticket here. I really want to go as well, but I don't want to go as bad as you. So here's what I'll do. I'll sell you my ticket, which then I would transfer my right to you, and I will make $15. And then you would now own the ticket, which gives you the option to enter the arena. And in order for you to enter the arena, you have to exercise your option. Everybody put in console, exercise my option. And so you get to go see the game. You enjoy the game, and I enjoy my $15 profit, and then I go and I do it again. That's about how options work. It's obviously we got more jargon and all this stuff as well, but that's the mechanics, right? That's the mechanics of how options work. And so a lot of times I talk to you guys about, hey, this is probably going down short term. And when I start saying that, I'm really giving hints to people that are options or short-term traders. I'm not, right? But there are people who watch and want to get some hints or some clues or some things that they can use. They can make money on the way down. That's cool. I'm just Warren Buffett. I'm Warren Buffett incarnate. I think Warren Buffett transferred his spirit unto me, and that's just what I do. Anything that Warren Buffett do, whatever Mr. Buffett say, I listen, because Warren Buffett is the fourth richest man in the world, so I listen to the fourth richest man in the world. And when they be trying to get me to be like, oh, but why did this and why not this? You know what I say? Did Mr. Buffett say it? If Mr. Buffett didn't say it, I didn't hear it.
What's that one guy everybody listen to on CNBC? What's that one guy? Is it CNBC? What's that guy that's always screaming?
Oh, Kramer.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully that helped you out. Go ahead. What options though? You got anything to add? Hopefully, did I do a good job of trying to give them the mechanics? Okay, go ahead.
You did. Thank you.
You want something to add to what options are? Because you're gonna be the leader, the lead trainer here.
Because I'm, you know me, I get all complicated and stuff. So I'm going to figure out a way to simplify that.
All right, fantastic. I'm not sure. I haven't touched it lately. Just holding it as I'm learning. Fantastic. Stockpile gave my girls free fractional. I still have them. Absolutely. Look at it. No, we are nowhere near recovery. Absolutely. So do you suggest keep it and just open or yes? Yep. That would be my suggestion, Wakita. Just keep it where it is and go open up another account. It's not gonna kill you, it's not gonna hurt you.
For stockpile? Well, stockpile?
She's saying, do we recommend that she just keep her stockpile and just go ahead and start another account with another broker?
I would move it because the other thing is those are fractional shares that you can add, and that way it accumulates. So say you have Disney stock and you bought stock in fractional shares in stockpile. Well, now you are on TD Ameritrade and you have Disney stock. Why not add that to it? So that way it increases that dividend for you.
That's relative, right? If I own half a share over here, and I own half a share over here, that's one whole share. The same dividend is I'm gonna get paid half a share dividends over here, half a share dividend. Now, of course, obviously, some people like to just have it all in one place, but that's no difference. Unless you talk about fees. I don't know what the fees are.
I think the building of it, like I just like seeing all my stuff together, and I know that it's building. Like I know, okay, so this is why. So on TD Ameritrade, I have 100 shares of GE, and then on stockpile, I got 2 shares of GE. Well, if I want to use them later, I need those shares to kind of buffer whatever I'm trying to do. So for me, it depends on what strategy you're trying to go after. But for me, I tend to look at my stocks and see how am I trying to maneuver this? How am I trying to manipulate the system to make more money? Whatever's a better advantage. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So however you want, yeah, there we go. However you want to kind of look at that thing, I will keep them and open another. Yeah. So if you want to see everything, in one, move it over. I think that's a personal choice. Okay, once I choose a fund house and I do my KYC, I don't know what KYC is. Is that some? Did y'all make up some term? Well, Kinney, that's a woman thing, isn't it?
I so didn't. I can't see, so I don't know.
I don't know what KYC is.
What's KYC?
Anyway, You can start buying the day as soon as they verify your account. So it doesn't take long. I think today, Miss one of my students, she opened up an E-Trade account. Maybe took them 2 hours to verify, and then obviously had to fund the account, right? And that was it. She was ready to go. So as soon as they verify your account and you fund your account, you're good to go. All right. So it doesn't take long. Doesn't take long at all. Same day. Probably 2 hours at most, I think. All right. Exercise. Y'all got some good questions right away when you fund your account. Thanks. Absolutely. You're welcome. Absolutely. Anybody on the website? Know your customer? Oh, okay. All right, there we go. I knew it was something. Oh, after you do all your verification stuff. Gotcha. Okay, know your customer. All right, there we go. Y'all about to get me with that. Y'all can be using stuff we ain't using in a while. Okay. Oh. Know your client. Okay, there you go. All right, know your client. Whew.
Okay, thank you.
Do y'all prefer fractional stock or whole stock? Do y'all prefer? What do I prefer? I mean, I prefer to get what I can afford. That's what I prefer. So if you see something, so for example, let's talk about Amazon or whatever. Let's talk about Boeing. If you can't afford a whole share of Boeing, but you want Boeing, go get you a sum of Boeing, and then work your way up to a whole share. So it's strategies in this thing, guys. So, but if you see something that you can afford it, get it. Like you can build up. Again, these thoughts have changed over time because things have changed as far as fee structure. Things have changed. I wouldn't have given the same advice before, but now that things have changed, it changed the advice that I give. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're adjusting or we are evolving in our advice because things have evolved. So
when I started off with fractional shares, which was how I ended up with Brokerage, and that's how I learned about drip, was simply because I didn't have the money to really buy any of all this stuff. Like I was like, oh my God, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, but I still wanted it. So if it meant not getting my hair done or what have you, I just sacrificed and put it towards getting those stocks. So that's how you look at that, is what do you want, and break it down from there. Oh, here's Boeing.
So we'll take a look at Boeing real quick. Boeing, obviously, in case you guys don't know, well, we'll talk about what it is. So Boeing right now is $183.50. So if you're like, hey, I want Boeing, but I can't afford, I don't have $183. Well, then you may decide that you want to just get some of Boeing and work your way up to 183 or whatever it is by the time you can get a full share, right?
5 day. You looking at that 5 day? Look at where it was.
Oh, I ain't got that. I'll go look at the whole. I was looking at a week. I wanted to look at it. 5 days is fine. So we see that. Let's go ahead and look at a month.
Okay.
So Boeing had a slow dive, right, from where it was at $300 a month back in February, back in the beginning of the year, and it got all the way down to $100 or $80, whatever, right? And then we see a month ago, you'd be like, dang, I lost 43%. But if you got in 5 days ago, you'll say, dang, I gained 85%. Big difference. But those who watch the market, understand the market, can read charts and all that stuff that we do, then you can say, okay, at $100, I think this is a bargain. This is a steal. Let me go ahead and just try. And if you did that a week ago, you would be smiling ear to ear right now because you're up 80%. All right. Now, Boeing is highest over the past year. We see that up here. I don't know if that little circle is showing, but it's up. It was as high as $400 within the past year. And we can go back and we can see that. We can look at 1 year, and we see at one point Boeing was at $400 stock, and it dropped all the way down to 100, and it's starting to have its return. So when we say, hey, do you really think we're done recovering? Because not only do you think about you start to think about, okay, well, what about all the big money, all the institutional investors, all these CEOs that step down, and all these people that own Boeing that Trump believes in, by the way, and Trump is a big Boeing person. Do you think that he's going to let his portfolio really
Right.
not do well when it comes to what he's invested in. So I always like to start. I tell people start by finding out exactly what they do. You may think you know what they do, but then you start to uncover some things when you start looking at their profile. I tell people to do that. And so Boeing is an aerospace company which engages in manufacturing commercial jetliners and defense. So they're in aerospace and they are in defense. Typically, when you have Republicans in office, they are all about defense because it seems like they all want to go to war. I don't know why. All right, space and security systems. It operates through the following segments of commercial airplanes, defense, space and security, global services, and Boeing Capital. They even got their own finance company. Didn't know that. They've been around since 1916, founded by William Edward Boeing back in Chicago, Illinois. They have a website that you can go to. They have actually been, over the past 3 years, been increasing in, they've been hiring in the past 3 years. It's very interesting. So although their stock has tanked 44% this year, they were at a $400 stock before. They were increasing in hiring. Tells us they were making a lot of planes. And what do they do with their planes, right? The airlines buy them. They buy the 737 MAX, which is a Boeing plane. And then they just slap Delta on it. And you be like, oh, this is a Delta plane. Well, where did the plane come from? It came from Boeing. The plane.
I love Boeing. Don't mess with me.
You said what?
I said I love Boeing because I thought about that. All the airlines, like you just said. I said American Airlines. I was flying on a plane and I looked and I said, this is a Boeing plane. Why not get Boeing? To me, because they're going to bail them out anyways, too. That's the other thing. Like you said, Trump ain't going to see his portfolio fall.
Right. They're going to bail them out and start where you can, right? Do you think it's too late to buy Boeing? You're going to ask me that. Now, Antoine, you know you're going to need to ask me that on a private thing. Now, I'm not going to answer that one now, brother. What do you think? That's what I'm saying. What do you think? Yeah, I'm not giving no tips out, no advice out like that on my public spree here. You ask the same question again. Just hit me on my inbox. Put it in the BBC, Antoine. I'll answer it. I'm not going to answer it here, but put it in the BBC. Yeah, these people that's not the BBC, that gives them an incentive to actually join the BBC if they really want some real direct type of answers. I'm giving general information up in here. But my advice is for BBC members only. And Antoine is a BBC member, but he knows I'm not going to answer that here for the public. Nope, not going to do it.
Tidbits in there.
Now, finances are important. How Boeing has been doing. So although they had been declining, as far as their sales are concerned through 2017, they started to take an uptake in 2018. Be interesting to see what the 2019 numbers are going to look like. I'd imagine they sold more stuff. If they're hiring people, they probably sold more stuff. And so it was probably, look at this. We saw some increase in their gross income. We saw some increase in their net income. Look at that, $10.5 billion in 2018. I want to know what their 2019 numbers look like. I always take a look at their assets as well. I want to know what they own. They've been around since 1916. They should own a lot of stuff. They got total assets of $117 billion, which has been increasing over the past 3 years. Their liabilities is $116. Not good there because we're only looking at about $339 million in common equity, which I think is a little low for a company of this magnitude. But they may have had to take on more expenses in order to be able to do more development, more building. I would look into that and see, okay, what's going on with this? Basically, right at the water. They're not above or really below water as it relates to their equity. So that would be something that would be a yellow flag for me. But I want to find out about it. I want to know. I want to understand it before I say it's a red. It's just yellow. Like, okay, that's something that sticks out to me because I like a lot of equity. I like companies. Again, it's because of my investing style. My investing style is long term. Buy and hold. So I want companies that got lots of cash, whole bunch of equity. I ain't got to worry about them, and I don't think I got to worry about Boeing. But I'm just saying. I think that's interesting for them to only have that much equity, and they've been around since 1916. That's alarming to me. Mm-hmm. Kinney, you like it when I do this. I know you like, I love when he goes through stuff like that.
Well, I was just thinking, Boeing had that thing, the 737 MAX ordeal that was going on. And I think when this COVID-19 thing happened, it finally fell off. So I think that has something to do with it because they took out some type of business loan. And I think it was a couple billion, maybe 13 billion, but it was a while ago and I can't remember. So.
Oh, they're saying I'm not sharing my screen. My bad. This right here, what I pulled up, I thought I was sharing I don't want to even like. I just went straight to it. This right here that I pulled up, guys. This is something that many of you guys, I don't really go over a lot, but it's kind of interesting now because you see right here over the past year, we see some sales that took place, and this will be insider trading. This is going to be the people who own Boeing. So when you guys get those little articles like, oh, this CEO sold this and this CEO, well, it's actually public record. And so we can see here, right before the COVID took place, right here, February 24th, lo and behold, Correct Lean Boeing, the president and CEO of Boeing, had 14,000.
Yeah.
We see here that Cobra Theodore, another executive of Boeing, had 7,000 shares. So, look at this, all on the same day. Look at this, 223, 224, 227. I mean, something. Look at this, Carrot Boeing again, 2,000. That's pretty interesting, right? That look at this, and then after they sold their shares, look what happened. 50% drop after they sold their shares. It seemed like they got out right at the right time, huh?
Yeah.
See, so when you guys get those articles from people and they be like, oh, the CEO did this, and you can really come here and see yourself. Like, okay, well, that was interesting. And I'll be interested to see, and we don't really see any insider buying, which won't be reported until their next thing. But look at that. Isn't that interesting? So when we start talking about with some people, they get mad and they be like, oh, this COVID thing is a farce. I want you guys to understand, it's not that we're saying it's a farce. We're not saying that people are not getting sick. What we're saying is it's very interesting that a lot of these CEOs seem to know that this was coming down the pike and that a crash was coming in the market. And they seem to have sold some shares to be able to save their wealth while we took a loss with ours. And that's the money game, guys. That's the part when you start learning this stuff, it pisses you off. You be like, yeah, right?
Yeah, you know.
What do you think about currency exchange?
Forex? Is she talking about Forex or?
So, okay. So guys, so that's another topic. So you're talking about, so if you say currency exchange, that makes it sound like you're talking about Forex. That's another market that you could choose to invest in and learn. I mean, what I think is any of those, any market, you got to choose to learn, and you can't learn them all at the same time. So you got to figure out where you want to spend your time studying and learning. Mm-hmm. And so I spent a lot of time studying and learning how to buy stock and hold stock, like my mentor Warren Buffett taught me. Kinney's spent some time over the past couple of years learning how to trade stocks, and as far as options are concerned, right? Some people spend their time learning Forex. Some people spend their time learning real estate. Here's what I'm saying: spend your time learning something.
True.
Spend your time learning some market. I don't care something. Now, some of you are spending your time learning your market that you do have a business in. You should be spending time learning that as well. And so that simply just means in the comments below, put the word study. Study. Wherever that is for you, whatever you. So for me, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't want to be at a computer all day. I didn't want to be trying to look at. I was already an analyst. I could already forecast. I was already good at technical analysis, which is reading the chart. But I don't want to be in front of a computer all day trying to capture something and get out of something. I want to do that. I want to spend my time with people. I want to spend my time selling my stuff. So I said, well, I guess I'm gonna be a buy and hold investor because I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna forget about it, and I come back to it the next day, 5 days later, no matter. You maybe it's just where you want to spend your time doing that. So you'll spend your time studying, you spend your time learning, you spend your time getting with coaches and stuff like that, so you can learn that part of the game. I just want you to win. I just want you to participate. I just want you to find something that works for you and get great at it.
I do not sit at my computer all day.
Some people do. I'm just saying, well, if we talk about Forex, right? You spending some time at Forex. You know what I mean? It just once you get good at what you're doing, you have to spend your time at it. But in the beginning, you're gonna spend a lot of time in front of the computer.
Yeah.
And learn it. Yeah, I just want to do that. So Carrot Bars, that's a whole nother subject. Carrot Bars is a network marketing company that's peddling gold.
Just buy gold directly.
Yeah, you just buy gold yourself. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So good question though. I read a lot. Absolute study. Absolute study. Study. Right. Study. All right. So that's interesting though that Boeing, we can clearly see that they had some sales from their top executives right before the crash. Man, yeah, that's oh
Right.
man. How did they know? What a coincidence. The analysts do a forecast as well. I think that's going to pop up here. I don't really pay a lot of attention to it, but I do like to kind of get an idea about where the analysts, and they're saying right now we're at 180. That's above the median, what they projected for Boeing over the next 12 months. I had 20 analysts do a forecast on it. That's fair. I like to see about 30 or so. I like to see that there's a lot of analysts that's looking at something that means there's typically a lot of interest. And when we see a lot of interest in something, that typically means we're going to see a lot of money in it. Who knows if this coronavirus was factored into their price analysis when they did it? If they need to do another one, what dates we have there. So just something to give you some indication of what other people are saying and thinking. A lot of green here for the earnings per share and the earnings sales and what's projected moving forward. And it's just a matter of it, again, for people that bought that thing at $100 and they sitting pretty right now. People that had it at $400, they're like, man, when can it get back to 400? So, but a high form from the analysts is saying about $400. So, for me, I'd be wanting to find out a little bit more about their assets and liabilities. That's what I would be looking into for myself before I really made a judgment call on Boeing. But Boeing is just a very popular, long-standing company. They pay a dividend as well. I bet that dividend is pretty large at this particular point. Let's take a look here because their stock price dropped. So when the stock price dropped, that dividend yield gets bigger. Ooh. And I know, Kinney, you like that dividend. You're like, oh, that dividend.
You know I'm a dividend person. I love my dividends.
So let's see if I can find something here. Defense, innovation. Lord, I ain't been here in a long time trying to find investors. Where would be investment recovery? Careers, investors. Here we go. Lord Jesus. All right, so they do have an investor tab. This is where they're going to try to encourage you to invest with them. They have investor news, financial reports, stock information here. Lord Jesus, they need to make this stuff bigger. Dividend payment history, which is here. So they're actually paying out $2.55, right? $2.55 per quarter. Yeah, per quarter. So that would be. No, that's not $2.55. That's $2.06. You multiply that on 824. You divide that by 186. I believe that chart. So they're paying a 4.5% dividend right now, which basically is the cash back. And if you put your money into a bank right now, you get 0.03% back. If you put your money into Boeing right now, they'd be paying you 4.5% back. So, it's like, do you want to put your money in the bank or put your money in the stock that can actually pay you, actually help you build wealth longer? Of course, when I say that, let me caveat and say, well, first you want to make sure you have money in the bank and you have a savings account. And you have money that's liquid that you can get to. But once you get to that point, you're like, well, wait a second, why am I going to keep putting money over here when I can put it over here and it's just as secure? It's just as FDIC secure. Your insurance-wise is covered through this particular company. So those are things you start asking yourself when you get over into this game when it comes to investing in dividends and stuff like that. What's your thoughts here? Anything you want to add, Kinney?
No, I'm just sitting back, letting you do your thing.
All right. But even reading, learning, talking to people, asking someone okay. I think you're saying along with the study here. How did they know? I know that's right. How did they know? What a coincidence. Maybe the CDC was hiring for quarantine jobs in November. I know that's right. They're going to have to put in some study time. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's a high dividend. Absolutely. Got to love those dividends. Absolutely. So I guess we'll take a look at AMD as well. Yeah, we'll take a look at AMD for you guys, and then I'll begin to wrap this thing up because I got to go bottle some sanitizer. Ooh.
And AMD is still like a baby company too. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Oh Lord Jesus, let me just get out of here because they be taking too long for me to be able to get to where I want to go.
Oh, was that the futures? I'm gonna check.
Applied Materials. Is AMD or AMAT?
AMD.
Yeah. Where is this at? It's not. It's not no freaking Ontario midstream. I ain't look at that. I ain't looking at Applied Materials.
No.
What's the name of the company?
Advanced Micro Devices.
Oh, AMD? No.
AMD. Advanced Micro Devices.
I put that in. I don't know why it come up.
Right up. There you go. Go back up.
This right here.
Okay. Ooh, that's hard to see.
So this AMD $47 stock right now, up 3.5%. She said, "Hey man, back at 3 years ago or so, I recommended this stock when it was a $10 stock, and she's feeling pretty good about that. You get to go from $10 to $47. You're talking about almost a 400% increase in your 300% increase, something like that, in your into your portfolio. So you know that's not doubling your money. That's like quadrupling your money, right? From 10 to 20 is doubling, 10 to 30 is tripling, 10 to 40 is quadruple. So this is the kind of power that you have, man. You know, going $10. How many of those shares of $10 you put in? It's going from $100 to $400. It's going from $1,000 to $4,000. Going from $10,000 to $40,000. Just keep adding zeros. However far you want to go. Okay, same math. Now I'm not going to do a full analysis on AMD. It's 9:22. I got 8 minutes left. I just wanted to see that you know, as she said, this was something that 3 years ago we talked about, and she took action on, and she is reaping the benefits from it. And I also want you to see the power of investing. Talking about 200 some odd percent in 3 years. Where else are you going to be able to get that? Maybe real estate if you're good, right? Maybe. I'm pretty sure there's some people in real estate that's getting these type of returns that they flip properties or go through properties or whatever the case may be. Right, from what they invest into that property being maybe a $50,000 investment, where they walk away with $75,000. They got to do that a couple of times, right? $75,000 for over $50,000. That's about a 25% return. And how many times you got to do that in order to get to 200, 300%? And it's not a knock on real estate. I'm just saying, I'd say do what you decide you're going to study. So if I know Antoine's here, Mr. Lowry, he's studying real estate right now. That's what he's at. He got him some long-term stocks that he's been studying for a while. He got that on lock. He moved over to real estate. Now he's learning that game. He probably gonna move to something else. After he learned that game, he's like, okay, I want what's the next market that I need to learn and conquer, right? So I think it's up to an individual to decide where they want to start, you know, or what they want to spend their time learning. Here's what we have learned. We've learned that we spend a lot of time learning how to spend money. We excellent at that. I mean, we got to be experts when it comes to spending money, when it comes to buying stuff. And all I'm saying, hey, let's take that same habit that we got spending money to buy stuff, and let's spend our money to buy some stock, so we can start building wealth for ourselves, our family, community, things like that. Because this is where the wealthy play. One of the places that the wealthy play. One of the places that the rich and famous play. This is a place where you go shop for stocks, you shop for wealth, you shop for money. And I understand that we haven't been introduced to this, very many of us, but you are now. And you got choices that you can make. You can choose to keep doing what you've been doing, or you can choose to do something new, do something else, do something different. I will guarantee you this, though, until you decide that you're going to do something different, you will not get different results, whatever that may be. All right. Miss Kinney, what you got? What you got for the piece, man, before we close this thing out? You're going to be leading us in our women's revolution, our women's investor revolution.
I just want to say thank you all for having me. Thank you, Evan, for inviting me on. And I look forward to working with everyone who's interested in learning options and doing stocks. And we can figure out some strategies for how we can get in this market and make some money. Because it is life changing. It is life changing, literally.
You enjoyed the show tonight, Kenny? You haven't been on. It's your first kind of, soiree. I want to make sure you felt comfortable.
Oh well, I go with the flow. That's how life is. So it's different when you can be relaxed. So it's different. It's a thing. No
All right.
pressure.
All right, in the comments below, love for you to share your thoughts. How do you feel, Miss our special guest did? Your newly crowned teacher. How do you guys feel about Miss Kinney? Her showing up here tonight to share with you guys some things she has from her heart as relates to investing. Like leave your feedback in the comments below.
Oh, please.
Make sure you lift your sister up, all that good stuff. There you go. Thank you, Kinney.
Thank you.
Do the women thing. Do the women thing that y'all do. Let me go ahead and get off screen for us. Go ahead and do the women thing.
Thank you, Queen. I appreciate that. I look forward to working with you all, though. Honestly, I went through some things in my own struggles, so that's why this journey means so much to me, and helping us come up and make this money, because I didn't realize how much money we could literally make. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Going and saying thank you. Great info, Kenny. Vivian Reed, thank you. We'll catch the replay.
Okay.
Great job. Looking forward to what's next. Antoine Lowry, wonderful job from Thomas Freeman.
Thank you.
Antoine Lowry said invested in some stocks today. Thank you both. Great lessons. Miss Rozier, Lady Kenny, sign me up.
Thank you. I will. Thank you so much, Miss Roger.
Absolutely, guys. All right, Ms. Kenny, well, I say thanks so much, Ms. Kenny, for taking the time to be with us here tonight for New Black Wall Street. Just one of the things that we do is to try to bring information and education to our community. It takes a big heart and courage to get on screen and just talk about some of the things that you know and have learned and want to share with others. Hopefully, those that have watched, we did make this public. We were going to do this private, but we said, hey, let's just give them. It's basic. Let's just give it to our community. So hopefully you did hit the like button, the share button, all that good stuff. Who's talking about this stuff? Who's having these conversations where they're not charging you $57 just to attend? Yeah, about that. Yeah. Not many people, man, but we understand that to whom much is given, much more is required. We also understand we can't outgive God. So it always comes back tenfold, 20-fold, 30-fold, 100-fold as well. All right. Hey, guys, thanks so much again. I'm your boy, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. If you have not already, you find this stuff valuable. Say, hey, I need to find a new room. Well, that new room is the Black Billionaires Club. You can decide to join any point in time. You become a student investor. You begin to learn what the wealthy people do and mimic what the wealthy people do so you can have similar success in your life. One of the things they do, guys, number one, they read. If you're not readers or leaders, you're not reading, you're missing out a whole bunch of information, and you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Because I have not met a billionaire yet that said I got that way by watching TV. Number 2, they build business. Generational wealth is built through business. The Waltons, the DuPonts, the Mars brothers, all that stuff is built through business. So if you talk about leaving a heritage to your children, and you're not building a business or helping to build a business, then you're just talking. Number 3, they invest. They invest not only in their own business, not only in their self with their education, they invest in other businesses and also real estate and the like. They invest in markets that can help them to multiply their money. And that's one of the main reasons why the rich keep getting richer and the poor stay poor. Because the rich are doing something different. They're playing a different ball game. And there's no wonder why financial literacy is not taught in public schools. Because once you learn that you can multiply money, then you start to bridge the wealth gap. And the rich don't want that. Why? Because the rich are meant to rule over the poor. And I got tired of being ruled over. How about you? Well, beautiful people, I want you to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode.